I believe we are live. We are live. We are live. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Peace and blessings, everybody. Hakia me here. It's a beautiful day. Hope everybody's well. Hope you're all enjoying this lovely day. Thank you for tuning to the Raising Consciousness and Capital broadcast. I'm your host, Haki Ami. So let me just begin and say we've been having some phenomenal experiences broadcasting and sharing with you some of the amazing experiences with Teaching Artists Institute and global many global African organizations really doing some tremendous work here locally in the United States, but specifically as well in Tanzania. And I'm excited this afternoon, this evening, if you are in Tanzania, broadcast listening in. Thank you, Karibu Sana. But I have
Yeah,
two of my great, wonderful friends and that's going to share in this conversations about benefits of higher education uh, in Tanzania, of course, where we had the opportunity to visit. Uh, and so we're going to talk about that in the Summer Learning Institute as well. So, but I have first, of course, I have Brother Richard
yeah,
Matamba, who
yeah,
is the student government president in
yeah.
Tanzania at TaSUBA. So I'll just say welcome, Brother Richard.
Thank you,
So yeah, so
thank
we're
you.
gonna have us a good conversation, go about 20, 30, 40 minutes or so. We'll see how it goes. And I have a little bit of Professor Dr. Anita's bio here. And of course, I'm sorry, Richard, I didn't get your full bio, brother, but we gonna get into that. But Professor Anita Diop is currently teaching African and American history at Hopkinsville Community College and serves as an advisor to the Minority Student Union and the History Club. She's also the founder and executive director for the African Roots and Heritage Foundation, uh, which is a nonprofit with a mission to share African culture through public programs such as the African Roots and Heritage Festival, which drew 19 African nations together to plan and participate in building bridges between the diaspora and the African continent. Their motto is celebrating our African heritage while confronting the challenges of being black. So, greetings to you, Professor Diop. How are you?
Greetings, Karibu, Habari
Asante.
Gani.
Yes, Ajani. So thank you. So we appreciate both of you coming on. And I'll just, first open with Brother Richard, and I'll come to you. And I know we have some videos, of course, so I'll try to get those and queued up. And Dr. Nita, you can let me know when you want to play those, of course. So if that's okay. So, Brother Richard, let's start with the young brother who's in
Yeah,
Tanzania in Bagamoyo, and Professor Nita, feel free to jump in if you want to say something to Richard. You had the chance to meet him as well in
Yes, we
Bagamoyo.
did talk last
yeah.
November. Yes.
Yes. So I'm just happy that you have the time to come on, Richard. So how's Bagamoyo doing? So you are how many years you been at TaSUBA?
Yeah, currently I have 2 years now in TaSUBA.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah,
So
2 years
2 years.
now.
Oh, great,
Yeah.
great, great. So and what is your area of so explain first what is TaSUBA and what makes it different than other higher education in Tanzania or Bagamoyo.
Well, thank you. First of all, I appreciate for this opportunity, having that great opportunity to me, sharing this great information about TaSUBA and our country in the large context. TaSUBA is one of the well-known place in East Africa and in Tanzania, the Center for Excellence in Culture and Arts. Over the last 30 years, the government of Tanzania has been working toward making sure that Tanzania is being one of the countries across the world in Africa, in East Africa, that is supporting arts and culture. And that's the big aim of the government of Tanzania to start TaSUBA. So TaSUBA is a government institution that was founded over the last 30 years by the government of Tanzania, and it's the vision of the government of Tanzania through TaSUBA is to make sure that Tanzanians have opportunity to learn the culture of Tanzania, the African culture, but also learn various arts that are found in Tanzania, in Africa, and in the world at a large extent. So, and TaSUBA is the only big college that teaches arts and culture in Tanzania that is under the Ministry of Information, Sports, Culture, and Arts. So we are very happy that we have one of the very known place at the Center for Excellence in Teaching Culture and the Arts that previously has been filled with notable figures. You know, we have like some of the head states also have been here, you know, trying to learn about different cultures. So that's how it is. And in terms of what TaSUBA teaches basically three basic courses. There is performing and visual arts, whereby students have an access to learn about different cultural that found in Tanzania, African cultural activities, but also they have to learn about this drama, African drama, poetry, you know, but also there is film and TV production, whereby students have an access to learn about film and TV production, including how to make films, documentaries, you know, TV programs, and the many stuffs that concerning TV and filmmaking. But also there is this that we call sound and music. Also in TaSUBA, there is such course of students learning about learning music, how to play different music instrument like piano, guitar, and many cultural instruments, you know, like those cultural drums. Yeah, but also there is a course of teaching producers by using these technological softwares of how to create beats, you know, cultural beats and these modern beats. So that's how it is. But it's very more focusing on improving and advancing Tanzanian culture, but African culture, but also advancing arts. That's how TaSUBA it is.
Okay. All right. That's a great
But also,
opening.
yes, yeah.
Okay, pause that, Richard. We certainly gonna come back to you, bro. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
So Dr. Diop, Professor Diop, if you can, just open up and share, a little bit, about your work and your experience, and I'll try to pull up. Hold on, you want me to pull up this cue first, or you want to speak first and then go
Yes,
into
yes. If you
it?
could
Go
pull
ahead,
up
go
the one about the ancestors.
Okay, I don't know which one is. Let me see. Let me try. All right, they're not monitored, but
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
see how this works. And let me hold on. I'm trying. Let's see if this works. I don't know if I need to share my
Yes,
screen.
yes, yes.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
hold on. Can anybody? Hold on. I'm trying to share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. While you're waiting or trying to get that together, I will go ahead and start. As you said, I am Professor Anita M. Diop, and I teach African American history parts 1 and 2. But the unique thing about teaching African American history part 1, we actually start in Africa before the slave trade to give us a sense of our former identity, and that we're not stuck with the identity of just being descendants of slaves. We are the descendants of kings and queens. And the uniqueness of this video that we're trying to cue is that I had taken it while on the campus of TaSUBA University. And if you ever hear me speak, I always talk about the ancestors. And one of the things that I really loved, I fell in love with, is the artistry throughout the campus of TaSUBA. There were the ancestors all around the campus. And it gave me the idea that our ancestors are our first teachers. And
absolutely
it
sure.
is not that
And
one, the other one.
Are said
Oh, wait a minute. Okay,
as
hold on.
tall
The other one.
as the length of
Hold on.
the tree.
How did I get this up here?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Not only does a tree have roots,
I'm sorry. I'm just so
the
caught up
tree
with. Let me try this second
has
one.
branches.
Hold on. Let me stop that.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay.
Hold
And
on.
Richard is very familiar with the campus, but for the diaspora, we're not used to that. But not only did I find it on the campus, when we went about in the city of Bagamoyo, we also seen, I believe, one of the stations where they actually create these sculptures and have them for sale throughout the city. And when we acknowledge our ancestors, we acknowledge ourselves, because we are they and they are us. And what that means for Africa going forward in terms of the arts and the culture. In 2012, the African Union deemed culture as the 4th pillar of development for Africa. You have economic development, you have political development, and the 4th pillar is cultural development. And what the ancestors' message is to us who are living is to recognize your culture, develop your culture, be proud of your culture, and your culture in essence will begin to make a livelihood for you, being proud of your culture. So as we go forth, there are several universities, and I have to ask Richard, that are offering degrees in cultural management, offering degrees for cultural officers. And what these people are trained to do is to go throughout the world and identify the countries, the individuals, and organizations that have stolen Africa's culture. And it allows them for the first time to have a system of redress. So very much like the fake handbags like Louis Vuitton or Gucci, and how they go after the fake manufacturers and actually exact financial damages. Each country establishing cultural managers and officers are positioning themselves to do the same thing. And I'll give you an example of culture vulturing that I personally witnessed. And it goes all the way back to 1997, which was my first trip to Africa. And In particular, we were in the country of Ghana, and we were in the city of Bangwari, which is the city that is known for the famous kente cloth. Now, we met with the weavers and they told us the story of the kente cloth, and we proceeded to purchase the kente cloth. So we purchased a bundle of kente cloth for about 25 American dollars, right? Original artistry, only woven by men, and at that time, it was only worn by men. Right? Some individuals were able to purchase a lot of the cloth and turn around and sell it for $10,000 for that same bundle. So the disparity in wealth, you have the original weaver that sells the cloth for a less than living wage, and you have a cultural vulture that comes and purchases the cloth for the less than living wage, and they make astronomical sales from this cloth. And not only do they make sales from the cloth, they'll take the print and they'll copy the print and then turn around and sell that too. So it becomes a residual income or residual investment from Africa's culture. So with cultural institutions putting in places degrees that Africans can earn to be able to manage the culture, be able to redress the wrongs that have been waged against Africa. So with TaSUBA, I know they specialize in the arts, but do they specialize in the maintaining of the arts, like the cultural manager program or the cultural officer program?
Yeah. Okay.
They do? Okay, good. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, because this is what we need going forward to continue working towards Africa rising, as well as bringing in a new glory for Africa.
Wow. All right. Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you for, adding those comments, good history and good things to know. Many people may not have those understandings. I certainly wasn't aware of that. So we certainly appreciate that. So, so how can let's talk with Brother Richard, and shout out to Angela. I know she's in Ethiopia right now. She's coming in. So recently, one of our partners, as we prepare for the Summer Learning Institute, was actually in Tanzania, and her son is actually partially in TaSUBA and the other school, CAC. So he's, Avondre Sales is a musician. They're taking some higher education classes. So that's part of the mission to, have these cultural exchanges where, we're learning things about culture and arts through there in Tanzania, as well as offering what we can bring to Tanzania. So I'll just put this question, to you, Richard, and Professor Diop, if you can, sort of expand on it. What should or what could we do, Richard, here in the United States, for instance, that you believe that Tanzanian students may need from us to be proficient? If you can just share, just in what your experiences are. And Professor Diop, if you want to add on to that question, if that's sort of making sense where I'm trying to go with that, or you can clarify what I'm trying to say, or even what you've done, because you've done some major conferences and worked internationally for quite some time. Not that I'm telling your age or anything, but but
Yeah.
so we no, so I could just open with that, Brother Richard.
Yeah, I think one of the thing that we can do to make sure that both you who are in US and we who are living in Africa, one of the things that we can do to save that culture preservation is to make sure that we strengthen these exchanges that we have. For example, that exchange that you have been conducting, that Haki, is very much important because for Black American, having that behavior of coming in Africa, and conducting different programs for learning, African culture in a very exceptional way, in a very interesting way, is one of the things that can help us to make sure that we preserve our culture, but we strengths and we make it to be very much sustainable. Because as Professor Anita said, and I'm happy that she have done a tremendous job on making sure that the preservation of culture is well done in Africa and in America. And he shared experience of being in Ghana, teaching on the importance of making sure that we acknowledge our assistance, because we are they and they are we. And so I think one of the most important things that we can do is to make sure that we strengthen that exchanges that we have. And for example, that trip that you have in June is one of the most important things that we can make sure that we give it all power that it needs. So because it allows you to have an opportunity of studying, knowing, and identifying a lot of informations that shapes our culture, that shapes both African and the African American culture, to make sure that we have a same understanding, we have same sense of how we can make sure that the great knowledge of our culture that we have from our ancestors is well preserved and is well recognized and is well kept for the future generation. And here I'm talking about sustainable of this culture. And one of the things that I think we should do, as Professor Anita said, is to keep a lot of efforts to these institutions that are teaching culture, to make sure that even not only the governments, but also public institution and non-profit organization, putting a lot of efforts to make sure that this institution have enough space, have enough access to make sure that a lot of people have access to go there and learn about the importance of managing our culture. Because one of the baddest thing that is happening in Africa, even in Tanzania, is that sense of identity, of identity for your own culture, accepting your own culture and feeling that you have an obligation of shaping it, because not whole culture is good. But here what we are trying to do is to make sure that we strengthen the good culture that we have. So I think we should have a call to make sure that, because we have these celebrities who are very successful in many ways. We have big musicians in Africa. We have different celebrities. I think also governments and the public institutions that are concerned about culture, they can put a lot of efforts to make sure that these artists use the attention that they have in the public to make sure that they promote our culture. Because, for example, me having an opportunity of studying in TaSUBA and learning the importance of culture preservation, learning the importance of me having that sense of acknowledging and accepting my culture and know the ways of managing culture, I think isn't enough. We have also to use people who have that public attention to make sure that they also promote our culture in their music, in their movies, and all activities that they are doing, and that will help us to make sure that institutions can have like not such big job trying to do everything, you know. So that's, I think, very important. I think, Professor Anita, we can look at it, trying to see how also we can have that space of making sure these celebrities, big celebrities that we have in Africa, have that sense of caring about their culture, have the sense of promoting their own culture, so that we can have a very good we can have a very good unit on achieving our goal. That is, the culture is well preserved for the, not only for us but for the future generation. That's very important, and that's what TaSUBA is doing. Currently, we have a program of making sure that big celebrities in Tanzania have an access of coming in TaSUBA and learning how important it is to make sure that they know well about what it means to acknowledge our assistance, what it means not to ignore, you know, what we have inherited, you know, from the African fathers. And that's very important. And I'm very happy that even tomorrow we have a special, we have an event in TaSUBA. We'll have a special guest, one of the characters of the big movie known as Black Panther. We have one of the women who played in that,
Okay.
in that movie. Yeah, even right now I'm talking, but my fellow colleagues are just looking at this movie, so that tomorrow we can have like a space of discussion, discussion of how it is important for us as African to make sure that our culture is well promoted, not only for us who are in colleges, in universities, you know, in cultural schools, but also people are out of this institution also have a great sense, especially celebrities, of how it is important. So we'll have that discussion tomorrow, and I think this will help in some ways. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. I would like to add something to what Richard said concerning the diaspora. It is important for those in the diaspora to be able to broaden their horizons. My second trip to Africa, I actually took my son with me, and he was 12 years old at the time. So giving him that exposure of other cultures made him think competitively, because when you're within your own boundaries, you can get localized in your thinking. But once I took him overseas, and on that particular trip, we visited 5 different countries at one time. And each time he met with the youth, and each time he met a youth that spoke 3 or 4 different languages, and he felt inadequate because he only spoke English. So it brought out the competition in him to learn more languages. And now he's an adult. And if all goes well, I'll be bringing my grandson, his son, with me on this trip in June, and he's 15 years old. So we want to pass on generation to generation an opportunity to broaden the horizons. I also, as I mentioned, I teach an African American history class, and I'm trying to get my students interested in traveling abroad. My college is a very small college in a very rural area, and they really don't go out much. So to get them to go to another state is a big thing. Wow, to get them to go overseas is an even bigger thing. But I keep pushing and I keep pushing because I need to have my students on that campus so they can mingle with the other students. And I believe what it does is to generate that competition. You get a chance to reflect upon yourself and see how you're standing and see how you can improve yourself. So it's very important that we get students really of all ages interested in going and studying on a foreign campus. It broadens their horizon. It gets them an opportunity to make friends abroad and begin to understand the world through a different lens. And as the diaspora comes to the campus, we have the local students that's going to learn from the students that we bring on the campus. So we're going to have an overall cultural exchange, and that is power for the learner. That is power for those in attendance.
Yeah.
So it's very necessary. I believe I witnessed, and I'll say this again, that of all the countries that I've traveled to, Tanzania was the first country that had an African language that needed to be interpreted. And that made me feel good. It made me feel good because so many times I go to a French speaking or English speaking or a Portuguese speaking country, and they have to translate it into one of the other colonizers' language. But this time, the language was translated into a native African language. And that's the number one vestige of culture is language. Speak your language. When you speak your language, we in the diaspora get the opportunity to hear the voice of our ancestors.
Wow. Okay. Let me try to pull up this clip. I think I got two on Professor Diop, but let me try to get this to work. Let me see. Share. Okay.
Sure.
Let me know if you can see it on the screen. Hold on. Here. Let me try to make sure I get this. Let me know if y'all see us on the screen.
Yeah.
Every tree has.
Can y'all hear?
That's the song.
Said to run
Can y'all hear?
as tall as
Yes, we
the
can
length
hear.
of the tree.
Yeah, sure.
You can see the video?
Not only
Yes.
does
Sure.
the tree
Okay. Oh, great. Okay. All right. I want to show.
the tree also has branches.
Let me try to see something. Let me try to make it bigger.
So what is at the root of the human tree?
Okay.
What are the branches of the human?
Let's see.
In African traditions, the ancestors are given much respect. It is said that the ancestors paved the way. They were taught the culture, and they in turn teach us the living, the culture. And when they are finished with their job, then they shed their earthly body forms. But we are reminded of them. We are reminded of who they are and what they are. We are reminded each time that we look in the mirror, each time that we take a picture, each time that we birth forth the next generation, we are reminded that we are our ancestors, and our ancestors are us. So what does that mean, that our ancestors are us? Science answers that. Recognition, facial recognition, speech patterns, anomalies in the body recognize that, because as they give their generation their DNA, you in turn give their DNA to your offspring. So it is the cycle of life that our ancestors are always with us. And what better way to memorialize them than to visually construct them at the root of the tree, at the root of the human form, on a campus of learning, because they say it is our ancestors, our mothers, and our fathers who are our first teachers. Hi, I'm Professor Anita Diop, and I am here in Bagamoyo, Tanzania, for the 4th annual Artisan Conference on the campus of TaSUBA, which is an arts and culture school. And I am sharing with you the beauty of the art, the beauty of culture, the beauty of our human form at this campus in Bagamoyo, Tanzania. Until next time, kwaheri ya kubuka.
That's nice. Let me play this
Nice.
next. Yeah, let me throw this next one. It's just 1 minute, so let me make sure my side.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you said you had more, but I got like 2 of them here. But let me
No,
pull
those the
this.
two.
Okay, all right. This is the my
Those were the
side.
two.
Hold on.
And
Okay.
and if you can
Hold
make
on.
it full screen when it goes to YouTube.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Hold on. Let me. Darn, I can't see the screen. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, hold on.
City. Cities evolve over time.
Oh no,
They
that's not mine.
That's not
and
yours?
historically,
No,
they
that's not
emerge
mine.
from crises
Hold
stronger
on.
than ever before.
Sorry. Let me stop
So
this.
what are
Why don't this stop? Wait a minute. All right. No, I don't know. I clicked on the wrong one. Wait a minute. Okay, I see it now.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on. Let me share it. Let me see something. I don't know how I got that up there. Let's see.
Yeah.
It probably was on auto.
Can y'all see now? Oh, wait a minute.
Not
Oh,
yet.
Not yet.
Okay, hold on. It's coming. Didn't it?
And in the
Oh, wait.
lower right-hand corner of the screen, you should be able to make it full screen.
Okay. I think here it is. Let me see if it's like this. Can y'all see now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Full screen. Let's see.
On the YouTube, in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a little box that'll make it full screen.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I tried that. Let me see. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Great.
All right.
So let me.
So, Haki, if you remember, when we were at the BOMA, we took that footage, you and I, of the children learning. And the reason why I wanted to show that video today is that no matter where we are in the world, we're ever learning. And the children stole my heart reciting their numbers, and the fact that they were reciting them in English. And knowing that they speak Maasai, they read and write Maasai, and yet they're also being taught English so they can be competitive in this world. So education is key, whether it's in the elementary learning or in higher education. It's wonderful to see our youth actively engaged in enriching their minds.
That's right. So yeah, it's great. Thank you for sharing those. I saw you when you went and did it, but I didn't. I saw you when you were recording the second one with the children. So that was beautiful. Yes, it did. It was touching. So, Brother Richard, we are looking forward to June and even October,
Yeah.
of course, we'll be, got, a series coming up there. So
Yeah.
we looking forward. I'm
Mm.
sure Angela, Vondre, and Kim certainly appreciate, you
Thank you.
just staying connected to all of us there and many of the others that came as well. So, we certainly appreciate your work. How long, so how many more years do you have to do?
Sorry?
How long are you supposed to go to school? Is it like a 4 year? Is it 4 years to
In
go?
TaSUBA is about 3 years. It's about 3 years. Then after that, I'm looking for a degree.
Okay, okay, great, great, great.
Yeah, for
Right.
a diploma education, is 3 years. But then just looking for higher education, that is a degree level.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we're working on getting you into Stanford, brother. All right. So
Yeah, that's my
that's
dream. That's a
okay.
big dream of mine. That's a deep,
So,
yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm very
so
happy for Professor Anita. She said
hmm
one of the most important thing, one of the points that I wrote here is we need to have a big exposure of how Africa it is. And having an exposure is making sure that we visit Africa as much as we can. We
right.
visit the African countries as much as we can. And I'm happy that you came to Tanzania, that in June you are coming back again. That means a lot. That means that the exposure that we'll be getting is we'll be going higher time after time, time after time. And that's the way that we'll be having the great sense of our culture. But also, I think it's very important when we visit Africa as much as we can, and we'll visit in the world, because I think it's very important, Professor Anita, also to have an access to learn about other cultures, not only to visit Africa, but also it's very important to visit other countries, as you said, as much as we can, so that we learn as we can. You said like every human being can learn something, no matter the level of education and so on. As you say, the children's story you had, that's that feels like you. So we need to learn every day, everywhere. So I think we need to keep a lot of efforts to make sure that we travel as much as we can. We go as far as we can to make sure that we have a good exposure, we have a clear exposure that's really needed to make sure that we as culture managers, as culture preservation manager, we are really exposed in such contest. Yeah, that's my
Great,
thought.
great, great.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right. So, all right. Well, this has certainly been great, and I would like to encourage everybody to look these fine guests that I have up and
Yeah.
follow them on the various social media accounts. Professor Nita, you have a Facebook group, correct? If you want to give out any other contact information or anything, WhatsApp number, whatever you would like to do. We are on YouTube, and that goes
Yeah.
all over the world, of course. And I'm going to offer you the same, Richard, to give out
Yeah, thank you.
whatever contact you feel comfortable with giving out. So, Professor Nita.
Yes, my group is called African Roots and Heritage Study Travels.
Hmm.
And it's actually an offshoot of my independent history class where I created to be able to, hello, oh my goodness.
No, you
Am
good.
I
You
still
good.
here?
Yes, you
Okay.
good. Yeah,
My
I just
screen
put your
went
thumb up.
white. So,
Oh, okay.
so it's an independent study class that I encourage students to take. And we go to various different countries from Ghana to Cameroon, to Nigeria, to Tanzania, if I could ever get them interested. I did take one class, but it's hard to recruit from this pool of students, but I keep pushing it more and more. So it's important to broaden your horizons. So the group is there. I also allow Thai tours which is headed by Kim Poole, to advertise in the group of various tours that they take, because I am tied to Thai. So they tend to go, sometimes we cross paths in the places that we go, and sometimes we go in total opposite directions.
Mhm. Okay.
Oh, there
Yeah.
it is. Okay.
Okay. All right. No, we still hear you. So Brother Richard. So of course you are the student government president of
Yeah.
TaSUBA. So whatever any contact information or any way that individuals are able to find you. And let me, Jerry Creamer says, good evening, everyone. JerCremer. We thank you for joining us, Jerry. But so, so Richard, so any contact information, if anyone wanted to get in touch with you to interview you, to learn more about what's going on, as well as you got to get some good footage for that, for the Panther, brother. You got to get some good footage for that, the Panther, the Black Panther that's
Yeah.
going to be there. Get some good
Sure.
pictures and write a
Sure.
good
Sure.
article on that. That can be good,
Sure.
and I'll definitely send it out here as well. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
Yeah.
good article to write. So
Yeah.
sometimes you got to take advantage of good co-branding and
Yeah.
opportunities like that while you're there on campus. So, but go ahead and offer your contact information, and we look forward to working with you, myself and Professor Anita. Anita,
Thank you.
we have a vision, and we're going to discuss potentially a more well put together documentary, about Bagamoyo and the history of the slave trade there. So that's
Yeah.
something that's ongoing, and I hope to talk to both of you as well. That's something that we should work collectively together on.
Yes,
So I'm,
indeed.
I've been planning on it and getting piece by pieces together. So I
Yeah.
hope everybody check out my interview that I did with the
Yeah.
great Bob Lott. So he did a 1 hour interview with me speaking about Bagamoyo. So go ahead, Brother Richard. Any contact information?
Yeah, sure, sure. You people can find me in YouTube. I use Richard Jmtambo, but
Okay,
also in
great.
Facebook I use Richard Jmtambo. If you search in Facebook, I
Yes.
also use Instagram as Richard Jmtambo. As my name, as they can see my name here is just Richard Jmtambo. They can find me in Facebook, in Instagram, in Twitter, just the same name. But also, as you said, Brother Aki, I am the president of the student government in TaSUBA, and
Mm-hmm.
they can find a lot information about me through TaSUBA, which is www.tasuba.ac.tz. Uh, One of the things that we are trying to do as a student government in TaSUBA is running a project known as Dependent Project. And this project is making sure that we help our colleagues, we help the student of TaSUBA to have that sense of credibility, sense of purpose, and the sense of acknowledging our culture and our assistance. So we have been running this project over now 6 months, and we have now on the strategic planning on how we can expand it across the country. So this is how they can find us. Just Richard Jmtambo, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but also when they visit www.tasuba.ac.tz, then they can find a lot of information. So we are just welcome whole people across from whole corner of the world to come in TaSUBA. They can contact me. I am very active in Facebook. I am very active in Instagram. Yeah, that's how it is. But also, I'm a writer. I'm a filmmaker by professional, but also I'm a
Right.
writer. I love writing books, and I'm currently on the preparation of writing my book, and we'll be focusing on how important it is for us to acknowledge our assistance in culture preservation process, because this is not a one-day fight. It's a process. We need to do a lot of researches. We need to keep a lot of ideas together. So yeah, that's how I'm concerned about. Thank you very much.
All right, all right. Well, we know it's getting late there, so it's close to 10 o'clock in
Yeah.
Tanzania time. So time for nap over there. So again, we thank both of you. Thank Teaching Artists Institute for putting this operation together, of course, initially. So we are certainly looking forward to continuing the work. So thank you both, and you both have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day and evening. This is Haki Hamid, the Success Scholar,
Yeah.
Raising Consciousness and Capital page on YouTube, and the Teaching Artists Institute page, and Haki Shakur Ami on Facebook. Thank you all. Peace and blessings. Until next time.
Peace.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Peace,
Bye
peace.
bye.
Poa.
Kwaheri.
Kwaheri. Kwaheri
Kwaheri.
sana.
Kwaheri sana. All
Usiku
right.
Thanks
mwema.
for having me on the show.
Thank you much.
Thank you, thank
All
you,
right,
thank
let me
you.
end this
Thank you.
here. Night.